What's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Listen, top 10 scary time travel urban legends. Now, if you like me, man, like I gotta ask y'all a question, bro. What would be the time y'all would like to travel back to? If you had the opportunity to go back in time, what would be the time that you would go back to? For me, it would probably be like right around the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Confession, I just got finished watching a movie like Blow with Johnny Depp. It's one of my favorite movies, man. So just going back before like the drugs exploded on the scene, the crack era, before all of that, it seemed like everything was a party back then. It seemed like everybody was having a great time, which introduced the drugs because everybody wanted to have a better time and they thought that was the way to do it. So like right before the drugs hit, like right in that time, it seemed like just to be, you know what I'm saying, around to witness and see some of those epic parties that looked like it was taking place around that time. I want to go back then, just see that, you know what I mean? So y'all let me know. What would be the time you would want to go back and see, all right? And we're going to get into this video, man. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the family, and let's get to it.
Needs to go back in time to stop a certain worldwide pandemic from happening. Seriously,
That's a good, that makes sense too, man. I should have thought of that. Not even going far, like before this pandemic hit. I would like to go back then.
Against time travel because it would probably drastically mess up the future, but in this case, I'm all for it, if only that was a real possibility. But since it isn't, or isn't yet a possibility, let's focus on some good old urban legends. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, aka the Queen of Urban Legends, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary time travel urban legends part 2. And this is part 2, so make sure to check out part 1 as well. It's equally as creepy. Starting off this countdown, we have the Air Marshal. Back in 1935, Air Marshal Sir Victor Goddard just so happened to time travel by mistake. So legend starts with Victor flying over the decommissioned Royal Air Force Station in Scotland. He described the base as being completely abandoned, but on his return trip home, while flying over the same spot, he encountered a huge storm. When it cleared, he saw that the base was completely in use again. The once abandoned airfield was filled with planes and mechanics moving about. In fact, he claimed that some of the planes...
Y'all know how I said like I would have liked to go back before that time, before drugs? If I drive over something, then back over something that was abandoned and is now fully operational, I'm gonna need a lot of drugs. I'm gonna need a lot of drugs, bro, to get me through what I just witnessed.
He didn't even recognize. But within seconds, the storm reappeared and he had to fight to keep control. He did manage to make it home safely, but wondered what the heck he saw. So it's believed that he got a peek into the future. In our 9th spot, we have Andrew Carlson. In 2002, Andrew Carlson, an investor, managed to turn his $800 worth of investments into $350 million.
I didn't even think about that, man. Oh gosh, like I didn't even think about that. The money side of things, that you can go back in time and make a lot of money, come up with things. Oh man, like a hot tub time machine.
Dollars, all by trading in high-risk stocks. But this seemed all too suspicious, and he was arrested for insider trading. During his interrogation, he told investigators that he was a time traveler from the year 2256. He offered to exchange information on the location of and the cure for HIV/AIDS in return for a lesser punishment, and if they allowed him to go back to his time machine. But he refused to tell them the location of this machine. Of course, without proof, investigators didn't fall for this nonsense. But what makes this case creepy is that a mystery person posted his bail, and then he left and was never seen again. In fact, records show that he never existed. So maybe he was—
So you mean to tell me, oh, we could have had the cure for AIDS, man. And it's, come on, let them keep the money. Oh, man. It would have at least been worth it to try. and see first, and just instead of completely denouncing it as a hoax. Like, come on, man. I feel like we got to go talk to Magic Johnson, because he's the only other person with the cure for AIDS. I guarantee he has it, man. He's still alive, Magic Johnson.
Who was telling the truth? Who knows? Coming in at number 8, we have the Iranian time machine. In April of 2013, an Iranian news agency posted a story claiming that a 27-year-old Iranian scientist had invented a time machine. They claimed that this machine allowed people to see into the future. Apparently, this device could fit into the size of a computer case and could predict details of the next 5 to 8 years of the life of its users. But legend goes that a couple days later, the story was removed. In its place was a story from a government official denying the existence of such device.
Hey, but when are we gonna wisen up? When are we gonna wake up and wisen up, man, that they're keeping stuff from us? If you still are one of those people that are on the fence and don't think that they're keeping things from us, then you are sadly mistaken. Get on board.
Or so that's what they want you to think.
Thank you.
Some believe that that was the government's attempt to cover up the existence of this device. So it could just be that the machine is really out there somewhere. But would you honestly want to know what the future holds for you? I wouldn't. Just let it be a surprise. In our 7th spot, we have Alien Barbie. There are some people out there that undergo extreme surgeries and body modifications, like Lizard Man and Leopard Man. But today, we will be talking about the human Barbie doll. Valeria Lukyanova is known for looking like a real-life Barbie. But in a 20-minute documentary on YouTube, she revealed that she's not human, and in fact, is a time-traveling alien. Yeah.
See, I think we should put one in between the eyes of anybody who tells us they're not human. Who with me? Who with me? I'm just saying, put one in between the eyes of everybody who's telling us they're not human, man. We gotta get ahead of this thing. I'm serious.
So legend goes that she came to Earth to save the world. What's she saving us from, you ask? Negative energy. Yep. And she has a goal to transform humans into human demigods. I mean, that's kind of cool. I want to be a demigod. But like, I don't know what to think about this one. Making our way down the list at number 6, we have Liverpool. According to this legend, over the years, Liverpool has had a lot of strange things happen on Bold Street. According to one woman, she was out shopping at a store and tried to buy a gift for her sister, but the workers refused her credit card. When she went home to complain to her mom, the mom said that that store hadn't been around for years. Later, when she returned to the same store, in its place she found a bank. But that's not all. Legend goes that a police officer was out and about when suddenly he traveled back in time to the 1960s. Suddenly he was surrounded by a bunch of stores he had never seen or heard of before, and the newspaper he found had the year 1960 printed on it. So somehow they both traveled back in time. We're now at our
Nah, I changed my mind. I know I was just having fun early at the beginning of the video, saying that I want to go back to like around the 70s now, man. Cause imagine just either waking up or the next few minutes you walk outside and it looks totally different. You would freak out. You would lose your mind. You would go insane, man, because everything that you knew it to exist has gone. You're like, no, I would have a nervous breakdown. Nope.
Our 5th and halfway mark with Donald Trump. Now, I did mention this in one of my past videos, but it deserves to be on this list. It has to be one of the creepiest time travel urban legends out there. So legend goes that Donald Trump and his son Barron Trump are both time travelers from the future. Legend goes that Trump traveled back in time to become the ruler of America. These theories arise after someone discovered 2 books on the Office of Congress Library website. The books are called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and 1900.
I think I've heard this. Like she said, might have been another one of her videos that I heard it in, but yeah, I've heard of this before.
Or The Last President. Both were written in the 1890s by Ingersoll Lockwood. The book Barron Trump is about a young boy who finds a secret portal and time travels. Both books have eerie connections to Donald Trump and his family. First off, the book is called Barron Trump, and Barron Trump is the name of Donald Trump's son. Coincidence? I think not. But it doesn't stop there. At one point in the book, he was guided by a man named Don, aka Donald, as in Donald Trump. And then in the book, The Last President, it's about an unlikely presidential candidate that won the election. Sound familiar?
I know I'm not supposed to believe this. I know I'm not supposed to believe this. But she's speaking a lot of she's giving a lot of good points right now. Things are kind of aligning itself to go along with the book and everything she's talking about. It's hard not to believe this. It's hard.
Even freakier, the book talks about the Fifth Avenue Hotel. The address of the hotel in the book is the exact address where Trump's tower currently stands. It gets creepier. In the book, there is a character
Words I hate to hear. But wait, there's more, and it gets creepier.
Named Laugh Pence, who is the Secretary of Agriculture. Come on, like, hello, the Vice President is Mike Pence. There's just too many similarities between the books and Donald Trump's life. So people believe that this book was actually written about Trump and his family. It's too creepy. In our fourth spot, we have the Bermuda Triangle. So the Bermuda Triangle is kind of a giant mystery on its own. In fact, some believe that people don't necessarily go missing in the triangle, but instead are somehow transported in time. So legend goes that one day 3 ships were traveling through the Bermuda Triangle when they entered a mysterious fog. When they emerged through to the other end of the fog, there were only 2 ships. The other ship was way ahead of them. The crew aboard that ship claimed that the fog transported them back in time several years. There they saw a bunch of different boats and passengers also sailing. Then they approached the same fog and got transported back to the current day. Spooky. In our third spot, we have Leonardo Da Vinci. Leonardo Da Vinci was a painter, sculptor, inventor, engineer, architect, and time traveler. So legend goes that Leonardo Da Vinci is a time traveler, hence why he is often considered way ahead of his time. So legend goes that Da Vinci went back in time to steal others' accomplishments and to make a name for himself. Another version of this legend.
Wouldn't we all do that? Be honest. Be honest. Be completely honest. You know? If you went back in time and you made it there before they discovered Google, are you not gonna... Huh? You're not gonna come up with Google? What about Amazon? Huh? What about Facebook? What about Instagram? What about some of your favorite songs out there? Yeah. I'm doing it. Who with me? I'm doing it.
Is that he went back in time to help advance the world. Like, this dude was a genius. He knew more things than anyone else did in that time period. For example, he drew pictures of a helicopter in 1493. That's around 450 years before an actual helicopter was created. But not only that, he had the idea for an armored fighting vehicle, aka tanks. And he also invented the idea of a submarine. He talked about ships that could travel underwater, and he even sketched designs of them. So how did he come up with all these modern day inventions and more? Because he's a time traveler. Coming in at number 2, we have LC. Back in 1969, a man named LC and his associate Bob, these are both fake names to protect their identity, they were traveling along a highway in Abbeville, Louisiana when they approached a very old looking car driving on the road. The car was clearly an antique and was driving fairly slow. What was strange was that the car had an orange license plate with the year 1940 printed on it, which was weird because that type of car can't be driven on the road unless it's for like a parade or car show. So they changed lanes and drove beside the car, and inside they saw a woman dressed in a vintage dress with a hat and fur coat. There was also a child in the car, also dressed in clothes from the 40s. When the woman spotted their car, she started to panic and pulled off to the side of the road. The two did the same and pulled over in front of her. But when they looked back, the car was gone. So legend goes that somehow they traveled to the past, or that that driver traveled to the future. And in our number 1 spot, we have the man from Torrid. Legend goes that in July of 1954, a well-dressed man arrived at the Haneda airport in Tokyo, Japan. Nothing was odd about this man until he was questioned by the customs officer. The man then claimed that he was from Torrid, and it was his 3rd time visiting Japan from his country. However, there is no country named Torrid. His doctor—
As I stated so eloquently earlier, between eyes, just put one between eyes, right here, right here. When you start speaking crazy like that about a country that don't exist, we give you one between the eyes. We take our chances that way. You know what I'm saying? We take our chances that way. We cannot leave these people roaming the earth.
Documents like his passport and IDs were all authentic, but it said that he was from this mysterious place called Torrid. They eventually took him into custody for further interrogation, thinking that he was a criminal. He was placed in a hotel room that had only one entry and exit point. His door was monitored by 2 guards, but somehow this man mysteriously vanished.
He would not have escaped if you gave him one between the eyes.
The thing was, he was put up in a room high up in the hotel with no balcony. So there's no way he could have escaped. So some people think that Torrid is a real country but in a different universe, or that it's a country in the future and he's a time traveler that mistakenly landed at the airport. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shoutout portion.
Like, the Bermuda, I can't even say it. Y'all got me so shaken up by this video, man. The Bermuda Triangle one is one that still baffles me today. I was scared as a child in school when we first learned about the I can't even say it, the Bermuda Triangle. I've been scared about that ever since. Like, even when me and Queen was like before the pandemic and we went on our cruise, like seeing different cruises that could travel through that path, man, I'm like, no, like, no way, no how. I don't want no parts of that, man. Like, I don't know. And then just hearing some of these urban legends, imagine traveling through a fog, and when you come out, you're in a different year. You're seeing older boats and people on boats and different things like that. Luckily, they went back through the fog and came back to their current time. But imagine not being able to go back through the fog and being stuck there. No way, no how. I'm cool on that. So if I have to avoid that, that's just one place I don't need to go to. I'm fine with that. It's a lot of places I haven't been, and I'm cool. Listen, man, y'all get at me in the comment section, man. I'm loving this time travel videos, bro. It's freaky though. I cannot lie, especially the whole Donald Trump thing. That's spooky. That's scary. Y'all get at me. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a like, share the video, subscribe, and stick around and stay tuned, man. Till the next reaction on my piece. Y'all stay solid. Hey.